Hey guys, welcome to my channel. The topic today is benzodiazepines, but I'm also going to talk about some other stuff. Please read the description box if you would like some recovery coaching. So I'm certified and recognized by the International Coaching Federation. I'm also in university for addictions counseling, so I do have some pretty thorough knowledge on abuse and experience, and that's something that I'm going to explain in this. I've decided to do this a little bit different than my other, I don't know, I may have made 3 videos so far. And it isn't easy for me to make a video because I suffer with a lot of physical pain. You'll see me moving back and forth. I have very severe pain disorders. Plural. I have multiple intractable pain disorders. I hope that hits home with someone, because some of my videos are going to be about discipline, and they're going to be about ways that I approach my life. I'm in recovery. I've been in recovery for probably around 13 years. But I still take opiates and pain medication because I can't walk without it. My life would be horrific without it. I've felt both. I've tried both. Doesn't work. So if that's you and you're having trouble and that type of stuff, yes, I can't give you medical information, and I won't as a recovery coach. I can't do that. But on this channel, I've decided that I'm going to speak about things anyways, but to open up, more of a discussion to talk about, because it closes a lot of opportunities, both to pull people in and, give them the information that they might be looking for, and then help. So in the end, my goal, once we speak on the phone or Zoom, is I can't give you medical information, so medical advice. Now, I guess I'm going to first tell you a little bit about I have difficulty speaking to, just so you know. Sitting down, eating my dinner. I give myself time at the end of the night. I live a very strategic life. And coaching is the best fit for me. The things I have to do for my life are incredibly difficult. And I'll share that at some point. I was a big addict to, I was a polysubstance abuser, okay? When I was, and I'll get to the benzodiazepines, but I may have started, first started smoking, then smoking marijuana. It was a time when there was no internet. I'm older than I look. I'm 46. And it was just a different time. It was what everyone was doing, or a lot of people anyways. And, one thing leads to another. And because I had been through trauma and that type of stuff throughout the years, I just I ended up on benzodiazepines. I was on those for 6 years. I was on them for 6 years. I drank alcohol. I binge drank and did that kind of stuff. And boy, did they ever mix with, medications that I was taking. Horrible interactions. I had a really difficult early life, probably because of doing drugs and that type of stuff. And, I never really found out who I was because I was doing that type of stuff. But I remember I had a panic attack after a weekend of binge drinking, and I had a panic attack because I felt overdosed. I remember my mother took me to the hospital, and that's where precipitously they prescribed me benzodiazepines. That's where it began. 6 years later, with no abuse, so I took them the way they they were supposed to. It was Valium. And wait till I show you a chart, okay? I remember being switched actually a couple times in those 6 years, but it went back to Valium. And I just remember telling my doctor that I was going to quit. Like I felt there was a problem with it, and my doctor never. Today it would be different, for the most part, with doctors anyways. They know the dangers of benzodiazepines. But I was on, I don't know, maybe 15 milligrams, 555, throughout the day, as it should be. You know, what I mean is spreading it out so you don't end up in withdrawal. I went through hell for a full month. I went acute. I took it all away. Some people choose to do that. I don't recommend that at all. So again, this isn't this part that I'm saying isn't recovery coaching. I'm just telling you a story. And that's what I did. And what happened was, because I had pulled it away the way I did, you don't want this. The last drug, you see the opiate crisis, and you see these zombies, with fentanyl and the other drug mixed in there with it. To come off of benzodiazepines is much harder than any drug on earth. It's what they call pause. The protracted, what is it again? Anyways, it's protracted withdrawal phenomenon or syndrome. What happens is, I should say it's the protracted withdrawal phenomenon. They call it the phenomenon because it is a phenomenon. And you'll end up with, I'm not kidding you, you can go look on any website, any reputable website like benzo.org, which was the only website when the internet was first taking off. I was looking for websites to see about this, and I found benzo.org. It was like the first one ever up. There was barely any information on the internet, and I remember bawling my eyes out because I found the information I was looking for. No pharmacist told me, no one told me. For that month, I had at least 100 different symptoms. 100. I'm not even kidding you. And that turns out to be common. So the withdrawal is horrific. What would I even do to help someone in that type of syndrome? First of all, we're told in training that, when you're trying to assess a person to see if they're a good fit to be a recovery coach, I always recommend that they go, if they're actively drinking, like a lot, and benzos, to do detox first. But it's not like I wouldn't accept someone on these, while you're using, because we're trying to solve a problem here, right? But if you or someone needs help, I want to tell you why you should, or you can, choose me over another recovery coach, and I'll tell you why. I have respect for anyone who is a counselor, who is a coach of any of these types. They're trying to help people. But why me? I deal with 12 pain disorders, 4 pain suicide diseases. I've been through over 100 withdrawals, both from abuse. It's about half and half, and the opiates that I take, I had to do it over 100 times, all the way from the beginning to the end, because I have an abdominal condition that caused my medication, my opiate, to stop working. after I had had a surgery in 2007, and had to come off, go back on to achieve analgesia again, hyperalgesia, analgesia. What I'm saying here is I've been through withdrawal for a large portion of my life, and I understand it. I've made detailed videos in another channel that I have on how to strategically get through an opiate withdrawal, like step by step, like almost hour by hour. I know what happens hour by hour. So back to benzos. Opiates withdrawal, if you taper, but if you were to take it clean away, if it was a short acting, you could expect that acute withdrawal to probably last no more than 7 days. If it was oxycodone, the horrific part would be you'd start to feel yourself getting better, but there's still a lot of, your opiate receptors in your brain are still having to build up. And but with benzodiazepines, guys, you do that with something like Valium, you could be in a withdrawal for 2 years. I'm not kidding you. And of that 2 years, it may be a full year of full-on, full strength, restlessness, sweating, confusion, paranoia, sleeplessness, tremors. Like, the list is endless. I'm telling you, like, there are symptoms lists that are like 500 symptoms. That's what this does. It's like it hits every single pathway. I don't know, the way that has to recover. And I've spoken with people recovering from benzodiazepine withdrawal, contact me on Facebook asking me, like, what do I do here? Because I've made videos about this. But benzodiazepines, I'm going to show you a table on ChatGPT. I asked it to bring up the table of the half-lives of them. And a half-life is how long it stays in your body. And there's a mathematical calculation that you do that every day that passes, another half-life. I forget how to do it off the top of my head, but I will show you anyways. And in the half-life doesn't mean that that's how long your withdrawal is going to last. You're looking for this. You still look at the half-life to see how long it takes to be removed out of your system. And it does take calculation. It's so much easier these days, though. You can just ask ChatGPT. So let's take a look at a table here very quickly of the half-lives. So remember, Diazepam, Valium is what I was on. I've also been on Ativan and also Temazepam. I'm very grateful to be away from Temazepam. It was given when all my pain disorders began. I faced a nightmare. So I was prescribed these, and I wish they never had been. I don't take Temazepam out of my system. But and I'm not one of those people who says to people who are in a lot of pain, depending on what it is, if you have seizures too, okay, things like that, I don't beat down on people, but I'd rather have people away and sober if you don't have all these issues. So my whole shtick, right, is to have you sober, but I don't mind dealing with people who are like in pain or need medications to try to stay sober otherwise. And so people who take medications for pain can still manage and not be addicted in another way, okay? So let's take a look at this table. I can help you try to achieve your goals, whatever it is that you're looking to do. If benzodiazepines is your issue, I just the withdrawal from benzodiazepines is beyond what people think, and people who are stuck in it know what I'm talking about. You're stuck in a permanent restless panic state, and it's brutal, and it feels like it's never going to end. But guys, I have news that it does end. So the question is, and before I read this, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to come up with, what are you going to come up with? You're going to have to, you're going to have to come up with some strategies to defeat this, to make your way all the way through. Whether it's, listen, I don't care what it is, anything that's going to help you get through. Is it going to be a friend? Is it going to be, take a bath? Make sure you take, if you can, take a couple or a few baths a day, whether that be a shower or bath. If you have to go for a walk, but if you're too paranoid, go out at night. Wear sunglasses. Do that type of thing. Let's take a look at this quickly. So look, as I said, there's Diazepam, which is Valium, that I was prescribed when I was 17 years old for a panic attack. Look at that, the half-life. Wow. 20 hours to 100 hours. Benzodiazepines are brain disabling to people. There are some people who can be on it for the rest of their life. There are other people who take it and then need more and more and more, even though they're not abusing it. Like people who have very sensitive nervous systems tend to be able to take them for long periods of time. I would say this is the worst of them all, as far as like Xanax, Alprazolam, as far as, the tolerance withdrawal, and it'll just quit on you. But look at that, 20 to 100 hours versus like Clonazepam is the next second is 18 to 50 hours. So, and there's Temazepam. That was for insomnia, but boy, did that ever come and bite me in the foot. Oh, it's my rabbit. He's going crazy every time. Oh, it's my rabbit. He's going crazy every time I talk. Let's learn together. Sorry. Here in real time, what does half-life look? Because I know you probably want to know. What does half-life elimination mean? Explain it in layman's terms. So, it refers to the time it takes for the amount of a drug in the body to reduce to half. Half-life. To explain in simpler terms, imagine you take a medicine that starts in your body at a certain level. The half-life is the time it takes for that level to drop to half. So it's every 24-hour period it drops to another half. So after the next half-life period, the amount of drops by another half, and so on until it's fully out of your system. For example, if you take a medication, by the way, ChatGPT is free and a great study tool. A medication with a half-life of 4 hours, you start with 100% of the drug in your body. After 4 hours, you'll have 50. Okay, let me see here. Yes, I get it. So if the half-life is 24 hours, every 24 hours, it will go down 50%. That sounds like it comes down quick, but guys, it doesn't. And then after 8, you'll have 25 left. You guys can do that math. Why it matters: longer half-life means the drug stays in your system longer, so you don't need to take it as often. So, I mean, that's the benefit when you take the longer acting, because they're less likely to cause tolerance issues, right? You can take them for more years. But there are other examples of short-acting people who have taken for years, but I'll just read this. In short, the half-life is the time it takes for the body to clear out half the drug. And as I said, clearing it out doesn't mean the withdrawal out. And it helps doctors know how often the drug should be taken and how long its effects will last. Dave, what do I do? I'm in the depths of withdrawal. I've got there's meetings do nothing because the strength of the withdrawal is beyond what people think. It depends on what each individual person is doing. How are you going about this? Like, are you smoking cigarettes? I'm not telling you not to smoke cigarettes for a way to cope. But when I did smoke and I went through such withdrawals, it made my restlessness at least 5 times as worse for about an hour. A simple puff would do that. But, you might be saying, and listen, I'm going to say, do smart recovery, do NA, do those types of things, supports. But I think benzos are different. Listen, if you can get out, that's good. And if you can find people, that's good. Contact me. I know what it's like. It's the strategies that you use. It's the way that you're going to structure each and every day. And you're going to set a goal. You're going to say, okay, like, I'm 2 months into this and it's so strong. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm so exhausted. I don't know what to do. What do I do? I will help you. What is your goal? What do you want to do? Do you want to make it to the end of this? Do you want to see a light at the end of the tunnel? Because I know how strong it's going to be. And whether you're tapering, which I hope, I hope people do, but, some people, and I'm not recommending this. I'm not recommending this. But some people do it because they don't feel like they have, maybe not in a good space in life. They don't have the money to taper and go on for that long, and they just want to get it over with. Listen, I've heard these stories many times. I've talked to many people about this. Excuse me. So the question is, if you can't do those things, if you don't have those supports, what can you do alone to beat this? So that's what I'll help you with. I'll tell you exactly the way I went about it. And listen, it's not going to be fun, but, the things that you implement during this is going to matter. I'll give you an example. You're in pure agitation, anxiety, restlessness. Like I said, wake up, you're feeling that, you hardly even slept. Plan out to strategically have a bath when it gets overwhelming. If you can sleep, do so. Not medical advice like that I would give you in a session, but some people take sleep meds that are not addictive, and you can research that type of stuff, and they can be helpful. But like exercise regimens, and I know how that sounds. You see what most people don't understand, and what I introduced at the beginning of this video is this: I have 12, and I have about 8 very serious pain disorders, 12 in all. Some in my abdomen, some in my legs and lower back, some in other spots, my shoulders and my neck. Discipline. But you know what I do? Even in the worst of times, I make sure I go for 2 walks a day. Every single day. I've done that for over 6 years. Over 6 years, every single day. So what does that do? That helps. You know, it doesn't help when you sit around your home. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing as in like, listen, a lot of people in withdrawal are going to want to stay home, especially benzodiazepines and like opiates, right? They're both powerful withdrawals. Binge watch Netflix. Put out a whole slew of movies. Do whatever you can. Play video games. Read if you can. But it's a good idea to reach out to someone. You know why? You can call the crisis line. Call the crisis line. That's what they're there for, to help you get through those small moments. I can't tell you like how hard it was to. My life was very hard in terms of going through those types of things. I empathize with you and I feel for you. I know what it's like, and I also know how to help you. I don't want to I don't know what the right word is. It's a very difficult medication to come off of. And still this day, and I said it's a lot better. It's probably 75% better. You know, how they hand out pamphlets, the pharmacist tells you, the information on the internet. It's well known how benzodiazepines can really screw people up. I mean, they're also good, though, for some medical reasons. But if you're caught in this hurricane, this big, huge cyclone, reach out to me. So I'm going to leave my my new website that I just made. Well, actually, it's an old website, but I just reset it and created another one. You can reach out by email and let me know, and we'll see if we're a good fit. Because, you know, sometimes I will direct person, you know, like it's probably good that you'd be in a detox or this or that, but and by the way, any level of professional help I recommend. Don't put this off. Don't put it off. If you're in the depths of hell, and by the way, so, you know, like, what is a recovery coach? It's someone who motivates, set goals, and holds you accountable for what you do. And, you know, like, maybe give you a reminder every week, or, you know, some recovery coaches go, you know, more beyond what another would do to hold you accountable, set measurable goals, but your goals. But, you know, if, you know, at the beginning in a consultation, I'm going to say, you know, what are your goals? You know, I don't want to work with someone who doesn't want to get better in any way. I want to help people who actually want to. So I don't know if you know someone who is in this situation, and there's a lot in benzodiazepines and a lot in opiates today, a lot for both, because they're both given out precipitously. Anyways, guys, I wish you the best, and I'll make more videos like this, and I'll also make them about dealing with also pain, and I like to focus on discipline. Discipline. What are you going to do without some discipline? What are you going to do without it? Things are going to be all over the place. I can help you. So if that's you and you need help, I Zoom or telephone, and I do both. Canada. I'm in Canada, and I also will do the U.S. So just know that, and I wish you well.